Live from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport in Texas, this is Runway DFW in color. Now, here is your host, Walt Zwerko.
Good morning, world. We're here live again from DFW International Airport on this beautiful is it mid-August yet? Not quite. What day is it, Walt? I said, what day is it? Oh, there it is. Thursday, August 11th, 2022. It's almost the middle of the month. And, hey, we've got a spectacular sky. We're going to have a pretty cool sunset, I think. And we came on just a minute or two early because we're going to be showing you in a minute the arrival of DHL Polar Air Cargo coming in from Cincinnati, a 767 cargo jet. That'll be our first arrival on Runway DFW for this Thursday. So how are y'all? Good to have you with us. You know what? Mrs. Runway DFW cautioned me about that. That's the first thing I said. So you didn't hear that. You heard me say you all, not y'all. I'm from Brooklyn, everybody. I don't say things like that. So here comes Polar Air Cargo on this partly cloudy Thursday. A nice, comfortable 77 degrees Fahrenheit. And our first plane of the day dates back to the year
1993.
Yep. It's an oldie but a goodie. 29 years old for our initial flight. And it'll be making a right turn once it slows down enough to head over to the cargo terminal just to the south of us. Gentleman pulled up in his car and ran over here and said, what are you doing over here? So the sunrise is still about 15 or so minutes away, 15 or 20 minutes away. But as we saw a little bit earlier, got some spectacular clouds, which should be framing the arrival of Seoul. Let's say good morning to Bill Caldum, who's checking in from Arkansas. Hello. Christopher Milner is with us. Siobhan, did I pronounce that correctly? Checking in from London Heathrow, another very busy airport. MJ Scanlon, good morning. Your thumbnail plane, the American Airlines PSA, just took off from Monterey for DFW. ETA 737. Oh, maybe we'll see that again. Cool. Luke Molds is with us late at night from his home in New Zealand. And good evening to you, Luke, as we get a couple of planes in the shot there. A 747 headed out. And there is DFW Founders Plaza with the rotating green beacon. And you can see the flags. There's not much wind today, unlike most days we've had here recently, where it's been pretty breezy. Today, not so much. You know, I almost thought we were going to get the be able to show you the takeoff of an A380 this morning. Because yesterday, because of storms in the DFW area, our daily Super Jumbo A380 flight from London on British Airways, I checked it yesterday afternoon as it was approaching DFW, and I looked at the flight radar 24, and it was making circles around Hot Springs, Arkansas. And I thought something must be wrong. And it was. The airport was closed down to arrivals. So what you're looking for, so anyway, it was diverted to Chicago, the A380 was. It eventually got here really late at night, and it took off this morning at like 1:15 a.m. So there you see a UPS 757. It's on its way to Lafayette, Louisiana, not a very long flight. That plane dates back to 1994. Don't have time to play the jingle for it. And as this one goes out, we're about to see the morning flight coming in from Sao Paulo, Brazil on American Airlines. So we'll try to get both of them in the shot for you. That'll be a Dreamliner. And you'll hear it roaring in the background now. Yeah, so anyway, I was hoping that maybe the A380 would get put up overnight here once it lumbered in from Chicago very late last night. But no, they did turn it around and it went back to London. I don't know what that means for today's scheduled flight. Here's a look at that sky that we've got lighting up with in the pre-dawn light. Our next incoming flight is going to be American Eagle Flight 3760. It'll be an Embraer 175 from Killeen in Texas. It left Killeen 29 minutes ago. It'll be here in just a minute or two. So in the meantime, we can just savor the sky. There you see a Martinair. I believe it's Martinair. I apologize if I've misidentified it. But this is, yeah, it's Martinair. It's a Cessna Super Cargo Master. And it's headed, did I say, to Abilene in Texas. And it hauls cargo on behalf of UPS.
$19.91.
That's when that plane dates back to. So it's kind of hanging out there waiting for the Colleen flight to land, and so we will adjust our point of view to bring you that on Runway DFW. There were a lot of flights that had to be diverted yesterday as the airport closed for storms. It's a little hazy this morning. You can see in the background of the tower there, you can see all the kind of scattered clouds, which makes for a nice morning here. As I said, it's now 78 degrees, almost chilly for folks like us who in Texas who are subjected to 100-degree plus weather in the summertime, especially this summertime. So in lieu of any big, gigantic jets, we will see what this Martinair is going to do. Is it going to go across the bridge? Is it going to do that to us? For those of you who are newbies to Runway DFW, there are the airport facility is bisected by the terminals, and then there are north-south runways on either side, east and west, of the terminal areas. There are 5 terminals. And we're on the west side, where there are 2 north-south runways, each of them about 2 miles long. And over yonder on the east side, there are 3 north-south parallel runways. And 2 of them are about the same length, and I think 1 is a little shorter. So if you hear on the radio the mention of runways 18 left and 18 right, that is where we are. Southwest Air 521, good morning from McKinney, Texas. Hello to you, welcome. Papo saying good morning from Portugal. Wouldn't mind visiting the DFW area someday. Well, unless you like the heat, I don't want to rain on the parade of the chambers of commerces, but come when it's a little less hot. Kruger is saying good morning, Walt. Nice to see you on and out early. Neko Chan Muraski, 22, because there's like 21 other Neko Chan Muraskis. But good morning, y'all, from Oklahoma City. Now, I didn't say, now, Mrs. Runway DFW, that was somebody else who said that word. I didn't say the word y'all. I mean, I did, but it was, you know. Stephen Garfield says, have you gotten any rain up there? Well, yesterday we did. Well, at least parts of the area did. And again, it was so stormy around the airport here that it was shut down for, I think, at least a couple of hours. At least incoming flights were. Some were diverted, some just circled until they could get clearance to land. At Rancho Runway DFW, which is about 35 miles to the north of here, we got a little spit of rain, but not too much. Not enough to count, really. Marcy M. is saying good morning from Orlando. So good morning to our Floridian friends. John Franco saying he's watching Runway DFW while getting ready for work. Christopher Milner is in Norman, Oklahoma. Brian Ski is here. Good morning, Walt. Motor City checking in. Thank you, Brian. Emre Yurtas saying hello to us. And we say hello back. And everybody wants to know if we were able to catch the Korean Air 747. I think it departed overnight or landed overnight. I know there was one coming. There was one or two coming in overnight. It probably left. I didn't see any on this morning's schedule. Any Queens of the Sky we're referring to, the 747. Except for the Cathay Pacific, which was coming in from Miami, which we should, if it's on schedule, we will be seeing that before we go off the air at 9 o'clock Central Time. So fingers crossed on that one. John Franco saying yesterday's weather messed with DFW, Austin, Houston, and Fort Hood airports. Yesterday's rain cooled things off 20 degrees. Whoa. But that shows you how the fickle finger of fate points in different directions, because Stephen Garfield says still dry in his part of San Antonio. Angela Morgan says, good morning. Great way to start the day plane watching. And yes, we haven't seen too many planes yet. There goes one from the other side of the airport. We haven't seen too many yet, but it'll get busy in a little bit. And I think I see one coming in now. And we welcome Paolo Jaguar, who is a new subscriber to our Runway DFW channel. And if I'm saying your name right, Arpad, good morning from Hungary. Thank you. And Quiet Storm is saying good morning to all. So, let's get back to the action here. This is American Eagle Flight 5745. And this is arriving from Louisville after a little more than an hour and a half in the air. It's a CRJ 900 ER. Yeah, of course, that's a plane that wears the Mesa Airlines livery. It's flying on behalf of American Eagle. And there's another Martin Air flight. And this one looks like it's scooting across the runway, perhaps for a takeoff on the east side, as you see the planes parked at the huge Terminal D, the international terminal here at DFW. And if you're just tuning in, we won't see any A380s this morning. We only have one flight a day on British Airways from London and back to London. But that plane is scheduled to check in here at DFW at around 5 p.m. in the afternoon. So where did I leave off? Ryan Tubbs saying good morning from Twin Falls, Idaho. I don't know if we've ever had an Idahoan checking in here with us, so happy to see you. And there goes that Martinier aircraft over the bridge to the east side. Yehuda Trapunski is here. Hello everyone, and hello to you. Quiet Storm is coming in from Rhode Island in the USA on a work from home day. Those are the best, aren't they? Daniel Jager is here. Good morning from Wisconsin. And boy, I'm trying to catch up on all these messages here. Austin Swafford is saying hello. Hello back to you, Austin. Felipe saying hello. I'm from Brazil. Can someone put an end to my suffering and take me to North America? I work for pennies here. Well, we're getting political here. Please help me. I can work in everything. Well, Felipe, I hope that your dream can come true. There's a Sun Country plane. Where is that going? To Cancun. It's a 737-800, and it's a trucking on out. So let us view that. When I was looking at the weather last night, I was wondering. I mean, there were indications that we might have a shift of wind this morning. It was almost dead calm when I got here. But if the wind is nominally from the south, which means we get a good look at the planes taking off and landing. But if the wind does shift from the north or the east, and they shift operations, then the planes would be landing and taking off from way down there, where you're seeing right now. Doesn't make for the best pictures for us, but fortunately so far, we've got it going on to our advantage. So it's come to that time in the broadcast and we have kind of like a moment of reflection for you all.
What time is it?
It's way too early for that.
Cue the sun.
not everybody is a fan of our sunrise ceremony, but I don't know. I kind of like it. Unfortunately, it usually comes when there's not much happening plane-wise, so good for us. Here comes a plane from Waco, Texas. It's American Eagle Flight 3512 in Embraer 145. And you can see the flags there. Well, the flag, that's a very large American flag there. And it is almost still. It's like the calm before the storm, I guess. I don't know. Christopher Milner is, I think, happy with our... Most of you, I think, seem to take a shine to our sunrise section of the Runway DFW broadcast. Christopher Milner says it came up fast. It usually does. Yeah. When you're at telephoto length, yeah, it does seem to come up pretty fast. But Mike Barker, not a fan of the music. No jingles, just here for aircraft, and we can, you know, there's a cure for that, I guess. But Dwayne was happy with the sunrise, and Marcy as well. Now we've got a big plane coming in, I think. Am I right about this? Yeah. It's a 777 coming in from Honolulu. It's American Flight 102 on Runway DFW. So I recall when we were here last on, was it Monday or Tuesday? I've lost all track of time. Last time we were here, that flight came in on the crosswind runway, runway 13 right, which we were unable to see, and it also meant we were unable to see the arrival of a 747, which I'd been hoping to bring you the Silkway West cargo plane coming in from, I believe that was coming in from Anchorage? I can't remember. So we did eventually see it after it landed, but it was just taxiing. So maybe we'll catch it another time. And yes, that sun is rising high in the sky. And somebody had a question about, I'm falling behind on my messaging here, sorry. So let me try to catch up with everyone as best I can. Oh, Deborah Klein is saying, good morning from LAX, here until the 23rd. When I took off Tuesday from DFW, we were number 25 in line to take off. Oh, that must have been torture. Sorry to hear that. Linda M is saying hello, working in the UK, and Mike Barker has just favored us with a super chat. Let me get to his message in a second while we catch another flight coming in. Another American Eagle flight. This one from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Just a 42-minute flight from our neighbor to the north. Bill Platt saying good morning from New Jersey, where I grew up, at least partially, between there and Brooklyn. Durrani T is saying hello again. He was here with us the other day from Saudi Arabia. And TX Grunt saying good morning. I too like the smell of jet fuel in the morning. Here's a flight coming in from Amarillo, Texas. It's American Eagle 4046. And as you can see, it's an Embraer 175 aircraft. Nothing to complain about on that landing, I don't think. Still trying to catch up on messaging here. Yehuda Trapunski saying any A340s at DFW, and Lufthansa has been flying the A340 in. I think the last I saw, I'm not sure if this is a daily flight or I know it's multiple times a week, but sometimes they fly in a different aircraft, like another Airbus wide body, but it's not always the A340, but it seems to be generally that. I don't know if that answers your question, but at any rate, it won't be coming in while we're on the air. Gregory Bloom, good morning all. Yeah, I'm a little behind in my messaging here, sorry. The Dravel Show saying the Truman Show classic. Yeah, that's where we got the Cue the Sun clip from. When I saw that movie and I heard that line, it just was seared into my memory forever. Lowlander saying good morning from Galloway, Scotland, and here is Mike Baker, who didn't like even though he didn't like our music, and he has his right to that, and that's fine. Everybody be nice. He says keep up the good work with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Mike. Rob Hyam, good morning from Manchester in the UK. Good morning to you, Rob. I think Alexandra Lee is giving us a thumbs up for our sunrise shot. Quiet Storm saying perfect mix of airplane, sunrise, and Runway DFW giving us his best, which I guess that must mean me. Laura, you're saying these are the most gorgeous plane spotting visuals I have ever been blessed with. Nice. Thank you, Laura. Thank you so much. As we get back to actually seeing some planes here. This one being another American Eagle flight. We get a lot of the regional flights here in the morning early because they've got to make connections. This one's coming from Wichita Falls. It's an ERJ 145LR. And ladies and gents, they barely put their seatbelts on because it took off 22 minutes ago. And as you can see, El Sol is getting higher in the sky. Looks like it's about to go through another cloud bank, though. And our next outgoing plane is still a while out. I don't have anything lined up to take off right now. Sharing Life with Casey says, you should have been at DFW yesterday evening. Weather backed up everything. A lot of planes diverted. Yeah, we were talking about that a little earlier. A lot of planes, including the A380, which was diverted to Chicago for several hours. Emery saying goodbye to us. Catch you again next broadcast. Thank you for hanging out with us for a while here, Emery. Hope you have a great day. Miss Lama DJ, hello, messaging from Tokyo, Japan. And good evening to you there in Tokyo. And we're getting a super chat from Laura, as you can see on the screen there. Laura Yours saying super chat $2 from Laura Yours. Keep the music. I vote for the music. So thank you, Laura, for your contribution to our ongoing expenses. Charles Owen saying beautiful sunrise. Good morning from Michigan. More planes. Another regional jet. I promise they're not all this size. Nothing wrong with regional jets, though. They're just not as big as the big ones, right? That one's coming in from Garden City, Kansas, I believe. It's an Embraer 145LR. And we have some runway inspections going on over here, so it probably won't get very busy for long. Going slightly mad. Just subscribed to Runway DFW. I don't know what to make of that. Going slightly mad, but... Charles Owen says, beautiful sunrise. Good morning from Michigan. Good morning to you. And Alexandra saying, I love the music with sunrise. It was a great combo. Thank you. Mary Robinson checking in. Hello, Mary. Happy to have you here with us. John Franco wondering, when we're talking about the A380 diverting to Chicago, and he's wondering, saying Speedbird flies to a few airports that might have been closer to Hot Springs, Arkansas. Wonder why they didn't divert to Nashville. I don't know. Do they have the facilities at Nashville? I mean, that's such a gigantic plane. I'm suspecting that unless it's a real emergency, they would probably elect to go to an airport which sees that aircraft on a regular basis, you know, in terms of the ground equipment and the stairs and servicing equipment. So I'm sure that the A380, I'm just speculating here, I'm not a pilot, but I would guess that it could land at most airports because the pilots know what they're doing. But I would think that they'd want to divert to a place, if it's a non-emergency, where they know they have some support equipment that can get them back in the air quickly. Hey, we have another super chat from TS2426. A $5 super chat saying, wow, beautiful shots. Good morning from Pittsburgh. Stunning sunrise. Thank you. Yes, we are. Thank you again. Your super chats help propel our signal through the air to you several times a week. So thank you, TS2426. We're happy to have you with us. And MJ Scanlon Photography kind of reinforcing what I just speculated at. But again, I'm sure that, the pilots, as long as the runway is physically long enough where it can put it down safely at many, many airports, but they'd probably prefer to go to one where they've got facilities that can really handle it. And the main thing would be to turn it around quickly, because it had to get back in the air again. Now, this little guy on my radar, I don't think so. So we're just going to take a look. If you can read the N number, maybe you can figure out what it is. We don't see too many private or business jets coming in and out of DFW. There are facilities for general aviation aircraft, but I would think that because they've got to compete with so many big aircraft, that I would think that they'd prefer to hang out at smaller airstrips where they can be assured of getting in and out of there quickly. And Going Slightly Mad explains his screen name. I'm a Queen fan, and Going Slightly Mad is one of my favorite songs. So thank you for that explanation. Michelle Adams saying, greetings from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Beautiful sunrise. A peaceful start to the day. E is with us. Good morning from Arizona. And Miss Llama DJ saying, I want to say I'm a huge fan. Keep up the good work. Wash your hands. I think we're going to put another pin in our map from a place that I don't think we've had a comment from before. Devorn Barker saying good morning from the Virgin Islands. We welcome you to our happy little club here. Cessna Textron, good morning everyone. Hello to you. Tim Wells as well, good morning. MGC Services, good morning, Walt from the UK. So glad I found your channel. We're due at DFW next Thursday afternoon from London Heathrow. Can't wait. Have a connecting flight to MCO, to Orlando. So you're going, wow, that's kind of a, doesn't seem like the most direct route, but have a great flight. And Gaming Jameson is here. Hello. Hello to you. Laura wants to know, can there be a pin for Sycamore, Illinois? Yeah, I got to find it on the map, but I'm sure I can find it. So, Sycamore, Illinois, consider yourself pinned. And of course, what I'm doing now is what you call killing time. Because there's not a lot going on right now. So I hope you'll bear with us while we wait for planes to take off or land again. We do have over at UPS Central, just to the south of us, we've got 1, 2, 3 MD-11s in place, 2 of which are on the schedule to take off during our broadcast today. So we will bring you that if we can. And I think we've got another Sun Country plane headed out to Cancun. That'll be the second one of the morning for us. So let me get a bead on that for you. There it is. 737-800. Sun Country does a lot of flying from here. Just kind of, I think it's mostly seasonal, because I didn't notice it at all until the start of the summer. And now they have several. They fly to Minneapolis, St. Paul, to Cancun, and I think one or two other destinations from here. And this is their non-purple livery. This is the one that I do not confuse with Southwest Airlines. And that is the skyline of Dallas hazily in the background there. Runway DFW, we've increased the frequency of our broadcasts over the last week. This is our fourth since last Friday. Or Thursday. Anyway, we're trying to bring you more broadcasts as we can. Michael Heller saying good morning from CMH, which is, why am I blanking out on that airport code? Sorry. But good morning to you, Michael. Raj just subscribed. Thank you, Raj. Cambrinus. Hi from the Netherlands, close to local airport GRQ. So welcome to you. Another pin in our map. And we have another New Zealander. Daryl Mead, good morning to you. From New Zealand, good evening to you in New Zealand. Chris is saying good morning. B. Kishan from India. Another pin. I'm going to run out of push pins this morning. And Laura Ear says, I'm thrilled to see you bringing this action from DFW. Well, action at the moment wouldn't be the word I would say, but we do have some action right now, actually. I should take advantage of that while we can see it. It is an American Airlines flight, not an American Eagle flight. This one's off to Los Angeles, LAX, where Deborah Klein is spending some time. It's a 737-800. And it has nothing to keep it from blasting off. We've got kind of a clear view of one of our... That's not it. Oh, because my head is in the way. Sorry about that, folks. I was saying we had a clear view, and we didn't because my fat head was in the way. But that is one of the 3 MD-11s in which this one, you can see the cargo door is open. At least the one on this side is open. But the schedule showed that we should be seeing 2 of them. 2 of these. I don't know if this is one of them, because there's 3 parked over there right now. But we should see 2 of them taking off while we're broadcasting today. Oh, and John Franco is saying Port Columbus International Airport in Ohio is CMH. And, well, what do you know? There's a MD-11. Typically, this is one that goes out to Louisville, which is the super port for UPS, and it is. Looking quite nice in the morning light.
$19.92, a blast from the past.
I know, that's going to make at least one of our viewers angry. This is unusual. It's taking off not from runway 18 left, but from runway 18 right. So that is a slightly different angle than we usually get for takeoffs because it's a little closer to us. And that again is going to Louisville. Always good to see a tri-jet in the morning. Utkarsh Das, good morning from India. Nice red sky morning, actually. Chris Scott saying hello from Kansas. Hope you guys are having good weather in Dallas. Well, still hot. I think we're going to escape the 100-degree day today. But we sure could use some rain. This is our second Virgin Islands viewer this morning, Don Spencer. Good morning from St. Thomas. And Chris Carter with a nice comment. A big fan of yours. Thank you, Chris. Ken Obi saying good morning, Walt. Checking in from near CEG, the Airbus Broughton factory. I guess you got some good plane spotting there. And Bill Platt was wondering, did that last plane take off without any flaps set? I don't know. I'd have to go back and rewind the tape, I guess. Did anybody else see that? Going slightly mad saying DC-10 MD-11, not my favorite plane. You know, I feel the same way. I don't feel it's got kind of a weird design. You know, it's like the opposite of the elegance that we get from the 747, for instance. But you know, it just happens to be one of those planes we're not going to see around the block for very much longer. So it's nice to see them while they're still flying around. DFW plane spotting. Good morning, Walter. Well, that's me. Good morning to you, DFW plane spotting. Hope you're having a good day. Lachlan Adderley, hello again. Hope you are well. I'm glad I could tune into your stream once again. It's lovely to hear you again. Sending a warm hello from Australia. Thank you, Lachlan. And I would guess, being the winter time where you are, it's a little cooler. And we welcome Bill Platt, a new subscriber to Runway DFW, as we wait for some more planes. And Saversight is kind of with me, Boeing 747 for life. You know, it just seems like with the last ones not the final examples of the 747 not yet off the assembly line, we should be seeing them in the air for years to come, at least in cargo capacities. Going slightly mad is a fan of the L-1011 TriStar, of which I believe there's only one example flying left in the world, and it's some kind of a scientific or NASA or somebody's got it for scientific purposes, I think. And we welcome Danny Ortiz. Good morning from Los Angeles. As I take a sip of water, excuse me. Maddie C saying hi from France, where it's 2:30 in the afternoon. So if you have tea time in France, I guess that would be a good time to have a sip. Lowlander says, if you want rain, come to Scotland. Scotland. I would love to go to Scotland. My wife and I have talked about that on our next trip. We've been to the UK several times, but we've never been to Scotland. And I savor taking a train up to Scotland. Sounds good to me. We've got an alert. Not a jet tip alert. Well, it's kind of a jet tip alert from MJ Scanlon Photography saying the American Airlines PSA special livery, the one with the smiley face on the front, is 10 minutes out on your side. So we will be looking out for that as we see a Spirit Airlines plane crossing the bridge over here. And let me see if I can guess where that's going. Cancun is what I want to say. Nope. That particular aircraft is going to be out to Los Angeles. Don Spencer just subscribed, a new subscriber. Another new subscriber. Thank you, Don. We're on our way to 6,000 subscribers by hook or by crook. And we talk about Spirit, of course, in terms of how much longer will we be seeing these yellow birds before it gets absorbed into jet blue. This is an A320 aircraft. Oh, and it is brand spanking new, just out of the factory in April. So looky there. Where's my the best of the old and new jingle? I guess I don't have a best of the old. I have one, but it's not on my machine. Must be pretty special to be a pilot who gets assigned to a brand new plane. Did I say this was going to Los Angeles? It's going to Las Vegas. LAS, LAX. Maybe I need new glasses, I don't know. It's really been quiet here this morning. I don't know if there have been, there could be some fallout from yesterday with flights being diverted and, maybe the planes that we'd normally see taking off this morning just aren't here because they're somewhere else. As we watch this line up on runway 18 left, there will be an incoming American Eagle flight 3527 coming in from Bentonville, Arkansas, which, as we all know, is the home of the American retail giant Walmart. And here comes that PSA special livery from Monterrey, Mexico. We'll see. We don't have a very good view of it as far as the sun goes, because it's mostly in silhouette. Let's see if we can catch the smiley face there. You can kind of see it. So this was the plane that we featured on our thumbnail today. Coming in from Monterey, and as we, if you're new to DFW or to American Airlines, American has a number of these, what they call heritage liveries, which honor airlines which are part of its history, and this one honors PSA, which originally was known as Pacific Southwest Airlines. I don't know if it was like KFC and they just dropped the Pacific Southwest Airlines part of it and just became known as PSA, or if they were known by both. When I say KFC, I refer to Kentucky Fried Chicken, of course, which is a big fried chicken brand here in the U.S., and I think they stopped calling it Kentucky Fried Chicken because of the connotations of the word fried. They wanted to sound healthier, so they just called themselves KFC. So there is that heritage livery. It's about as good a look as we're going to get, even though it's pretty far away. You can kind of make out the smiley face on the front. Got a flight coming in from Austin, Texas now, the capital of this state. I assumed it was American Airlines, but no, it's UPS. With a 767 cargo. And as we normally point out, not a plane we often see here, except in a cargo configuration. We don't have any passenger 767s.
All the best. 1996.
So we're going to have some dueling UPS cargo jets here. As a 757 is pushed back for a flight to Ontario, and the 767 taxis on up to fill a slot. EasyJet fan has just subscribed to Runway DFW. Welcome to you. Bill Platt is a fan of the retro PSA livery. I don't know, how can you not like that? That's pretty cool. And Laura is predicting that JetBlue will be refitting all the Spirit Airlines planes. I suspect they will. And Quiet Storm is saying this is the first time. Where'd he go? First time seeing a 757 UPS flight. Yeah, we see those come in and out regularly, and again, it's the only time we see a 757 here. And Roger Williams is saying maybe JetBlue will keep one plane in the Spirit livery. Do you think? I don't know. So there's the tug pulling away from the 757.
$19.92.
We're going to have to pull away from this for a second because we've got our morning flight from Maui coming in. It's a Dreamliner. It's flight 116 American Airlines 787-9. It's about to go behind a sign. And we're behind a sign so we don't get sprinkled on by the DFW Founders Plaza sprinkler system. So the big Dreamliner checks in from Aloha Land. And we go back to UPS Land. We've got kind of a parade going here. It's like an aircraft ballet. So a good full sun look, or at least a profile look of the 757 on its way to Ontario, California. I'm going to pull away for just a second to get a head-on shot of this 767 as it taxis into place. There's a garbage can. Ain't no stopping us now. Ryan wants to know, he says good morning, first of all. Good morning to you, Ryan, who stopped by the other day. Got to meet him. Walt, have you heard or seen the totals of the rain DFW Airport got last night? No, I have not. I know it got some because they were diverting planes right and left. All right, back to the planes. We've got some American Eagle activity for you here. But my radar screen wasn't in the right position and I couldn't see what it was or where it's coming from. So I was coming in from Del Rio, Texas, after a 52-minute flight, a CRJ 701 We've got a bird who seems to have gotten a special insect or something there. I don't think it's quite dead yet. So we get nature today, we get sun, we get birds. We do it all here at Runway DFW. Especially when there's no planes to look at. What is that? Big insect. Oh. Feel like Marlon Perkins sometimes. Chris Scott's saying that's something you don't see every day. Well, again, we try to fill time as best we can here at Runway DFW. Bill Platt saying, Runway DFW as a new subscriber. I'm curious, what is your setup? How many cameras do you operate? The audio equipment you use, etc. Well, we've got a moment to spare, so we have 3 cameras. This is camera 2, which is mainly locked down, but I can move it around, so it helps provide some variety. Here's camera not 3. Have we lost camera 3? I was about to brag about camera 3, but camera 3 is offline. Let me see what's going on here. I think I heard it firing up. Okay, so there's camera 3. That's just a little action camera. Not a major brand, but that is looking west towards the tower with the beacon. You can see the flags on the right, which are not moving very much whatsoever. We have a very calm morning this morning, wind-wise. So that's an action camera. This camera is kind of a base model Panasonic camcorder, and then our bird cam. I'll have to give you a better picture from the bird cam. There's camera 1. It's our main camera. It is not a new model Panasonic, what they call a prosumer camera. It's an HC-VX870. So it's it's got an upgrade. It's an upgrade from the base model, but it's not quite a professional camera. And then we've got an iPad. We've got a MacBook to run the whole thing on. We've got a cheesy little audio board, and we've got a Feel World Live Pro switcher. I don't know if I can. I think we can show you that. Well, here's our setup. So here's our switcher. You can switch from one camera to the other. Our iPad over there provides us with audio cues and songs and things like that. There's our main computer. Behind our computer there is our hotspot, which sends our signal out to the world when our satellite truck's not working. And then can't see it, but underneath there, well, maybe you can kind of see it. No, not really. See the tangle of wires that we've got. We've got a big marine battery underneath which powers everything here. And, oh, I was going to show you our other cameras. So yeah, there's our 2 other cameras. There's the one on the left is the Panasonic camcorder. And then there's our little action camera on a little folding stand. So that's our setup. There's my chair, which I don't get to sit in very often. And so there you have the Runway DFW complete setup. You know, the thing is, there's no books you can read about this. I've learned a lot from watching the other airline channels. You know, your Airline Videos Lives, your Big Jet TVs. You know, I watch them very carefully to see how they do things, and I've seen what they do. I've kind of had to adapt a little bit. I find having the 3 cameras nice because it just provides a little relief, especially when things get boring, and it keeps us from having to do too many fast panning motions. Have we lost camera 2 again? I think we have. Oh no. I'm looking at my viewfinder instead of the... It gets confusing. So bear with me, folks. Wow, it's quiet here. So we will look at a plane that's coming in from Tampa over on the east side. Now, on the east side of the airport, we don't get to see the planes actually landing. We just get to see them gliding in. This is Frontier Flight 2567 and A320. And I don't know that we'll be able to make out what animal it has on its tail. Will we? It's in silhouette, so... Starting to feel hot now. I think mainly it's because it's pretty muggy, because there was some rain that fell yesterday, and so there's a lot of moisture in the ground kind of coming up. So while it was refreshingly brisk earlier today, it's just kind of starting to feel muggy now. Yeah, that's about all of that we'll be able to see. But just for the record, I was going to tell you what the animal was on the tail, but I can't find it in the mix of all the aircraft on the radar here. So instead of that, we will be focusing in on a flight coming in from Mexico. It's American Airlines 1924. A minibus, A319, coming in from Querétaro. I'd like to say a big thank you to Ray Anderson, who has favored us with a super chat, a $5 super chat, saying, "Good morning from Tennessee. Nice, relaxing way to start the day. Thanks for your hard work and hours." I really appreciate that, Ray. Thank you. Your contribution helps us stay on the air, helps us pay our streaming expenses and little gizmos and doodads we need to make our broadcast sparkle, so thank you. Here comes a United minibus. Let's see where that's going, shall we? When Lady Cat was filling us in that the Frontier we saw was Watson the Key Deer livery, so if you're keeping a scorecard, that is what we saw silhouetted in the sky. Here's this United flight, which is off to San Francisco. As I said, it's an A319. It's seen a few takeoffs and landings. It's 20 years old, dating back to the year 2002. think we've lost sight of the... Oh no, there's downtown Dallas kind of in the background there. It's gotten pretty hazy this morning. Oh, we got a race going. I think I know which one's going to win. Alrighty then, it's 8:02 Central Time. You are watching Runway DFW live and in color from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport in Texas. You'd never know it by this morning, but it's the world's second busiest airport by passengers. And my name is Walt, and we're here with you for just about another hour before I've got to pack things up and go to my real job. But until then, I'm your guy here at DFW International Airport with much more stuff to bring you in what we hope will be a busy 60 final minutes on Runway DFW.
In the morning.
Well, I have, let's see here. There was something special I had to show you, and this is coming from Brandon McMillan, a $20 super chat. Breakfast lunch is partially on me today. Another great show. Thank you, Brandon. Partially? That's like breakfast for the next 3 days. But thank you, Brandon. That's very generous of you. And again, that will help us pay our streaming expenses for this month, which are not insignificant, but we do like to bring you these shows. I enjoy doing it. And, you know, I do it for free. But with your help, maybe we can get some more shows. Maybe I can do this full time. So hope you're enjoying it. And I get the kind of impression that most of you are. So thank you. Thank you so much. More aviation activity for you here. It's an American Eagle flight coming in from Manhattan, Kansas. A CRJ 701ER, American Eagle Flight 3297. And again, I do expect things to start percolating here before too much longer, but yeah, not right now. It looks like this MD-11 that we are about to show you here, and Mr. Jeremy Scroggins just subscribed, thank you. It looks like this one is buttoned up, and I can't tell if this is going to be going out or not, but we do expect another MD-11 tri-jet to go out before we go off the air in about 55 minutes. MJ Scanlon, a Korean Dreamliner from Incheon, 15 minutes out, and we will be here for that. Hopefully it will land on... We had a couple of instances, was it last time we were here, where the flight controllers were directing aircraft to runway 13 right, which is behind us, and it's not as used as the other runways in front of us, but we don't see it. We don't see planes landing there. We can just see them scooting over the main runways here back to the terminal area. So hopefully the Korean Air flight will be directed towards us where we can see it. And Chris Scott is saying, if it's about to head out, then the navigation lights should be on. And I can't tell. We're getting to the point of the morning where the glare is catching up with us. I was hoping there'd be more clouds in the sky to block the sun, but no such luck this morning. Bill Platt has a good question. Is this an actual public park next to the airport? Weird. Trying to plane spot at Philadelphia is an exercise in avoiding being accused of being a terrorist. And you know what? I have to be very sympathetic to the security personnel at any airport because, you know, you don't want to be the one who has a terrorist get by you. So I'm, you know, if there's, and I in all the times I've been out here, there's never been any security personnel come up to me and ask me what I'm doing. And certainly I would not mind if they did. In fact, I would be more than happy to let them look at my equipment and check my computers and look at my cameras and do all that because their job, they've got a hard job, and I want them to feel secure in knowing that I pose no threat. And I'm sure any plane spotter worth their salt feels the same way. But yeah, there are airports that are more. I mean, this is an area which is set up. It's a public park. It used to be open only during daylight hours, and I don't know when they switched, but it's now open pretty much 24 hours a day. I've never seen the gate closed. It has a gate. There's no admission. There's lots of parking, except when an A380 arrives after an absence of a couple of years. That day was kind of a madhouse, but plenty of parking. There's picnic benches. There's a grassy area in front of us to just kind of spread out a blanket and watch planes. It's really nice. You know, Friday night here is just people hanging out, sitting on the beds of their pickup trucks or on a blanket, just watching the planes go by. It's really kind of nice. And again, my one little peeve about this area is that there is no restroom facilities here, so I'll just leave it at that. Mr. Tank 2010, good morning, Walt. I'm back home from Wisconsin, and I flew on my very first 717, which for those of you who may not know what that is, it's kind of like what Boeing inherited. I'm sorry about that. What Boeing inherited from the DC-9 generation of planes. It's a twin-engine plane. I think Delta and maybe Hawaiian are the only two American airlines that still fly that plane, and Delta doesn't fly it into here, into DFW, but it does to Dallas Love Field, and that is where I saw it. And if you go back to our Love Field coverage, you will get to see it. And yeah, there's not too many of those around the 717. Hope your experience was good. So speaking about those MD-11s we were looking at earlier, there's 3 of them there, and only one of them appears to be buttoned up as far as its cargo doors closed, at least on the side we can see. The other 2, the doors are open. And so I'm guessing that if we do get to see an MD-11, another MD-11 before we depart today, this will be the one. And while we may get a little weary of all the CRJs here at DFW, because American Eagle flies a lot of them, Edward Crosby says it's good to see them. We don't get to see these at Manchester. And that's kind of one of the cool things about these airport channels. Now, I'm just one of them, of course. But you get to see planes you don't get to see at your home airport. So, and we get to share them with the world. And here's another CRJ, huh? It's coming in from Brownsville in South Texas. CRJ 701ER coming in from Brownsville after an hour and 11-minute flight, as we have a very patriotic pickup truck just arriving. Got your stars and stripes and eagles and stuff like that. But yeah, we've had an unusual number of non-takeoffs here on this Thursday morning. I'm not sure why. But again, it could have something to do with all the delays and whatnot going on yesterday. When Midwest Air was in operation, Ryan says, they flew 717. And if I remember, AirTran as well. I believe you're right about that, Ryan. Here comes American Airlines Flight 1034 from Guadalajara in Mexico. It's a 737-800. And that is the type of aircraft that American Airlines has the biggest number of in its fleet. The 737-800 and its variations. Time to see another United Airlines jet. This one is off to Denver, Colorado, the Mile High City. And this one is a 20-year-old jet dating back to the year 2001 in October. And there's Peter with the details. George B. Studnicki the Fourth just subscribed to Runway DFW. And it is beginning its journey, its long journey down runway 18 right, 18 left, sorry. And because of the sun and because of the haze, things aren't really popping this morning. Everything looks kind of flat, at least from this angle. Sorry for that abrupt movement, but we've got Korean Air coming in from Seoul. The Pepsi plane. Korean Air Flight 31, a big old Dreamliner, 787-9, a 5-year-old aircraft, which has been puttering about in the stratosphere for a little more than 12.5 hours. So one can be certain that the passengers and crew will be happy to get up and stretch their legs in a few minutes as soon as it pulls into the gate at International Terminal D. And we're at the north end of runways 18 and 18 right and 18 left, so by the time the planes land, they're quite a distance away from us, which is why things get to look a little fuzzy when they get down there. The runway extends for about 2 miles. Of course, that also accounts for some excess runoff in case of problems. But it's probably a good 1.5 miles away from us right now. This plane is. Ronaldo Alves just subscribed to our channel, Runway DFW. Greetings to you, Ronaldo. And Ryan is saying, please like and subscribe, but you know what we say here at Runway DFW. We say, subscribe and like. Trademark. We say hello to Charles Courtwright, coming to us from Bangor, Maine. Karen Monson says, hi Walt, I'm in my own time zone here. How is the temp in Dallas according to our unofficial thermometer that I keep here? It's 86 muggy degrees. Plane was a little higher than I thought it was. Coming on in from Omaha, Nebraska. That would be American flight 2540. The ever popular 737-800. What you're seeing there is an Airbus A321, American flight 2853, off to Los Angeles. That aircraft is 2 years old. We have an incoming minibus, American Flight 579, coming in from Chihuahua in Mexico. The ever popular Airbus A319. We're getting a little busier here. How about a FedEx flight? We haven't seen a FedEx flight today. We typically don't see them over on this side of the facility because FedEx has its base over on the other side. So we'll just get to see it peek behind some buildings, but at least we can tick off a FedEx plane here. Follow the tail. There it goes. That flight was coming in from... Where'd it go? Where'd it go on my little map? Coming in from Fort Lauderdale. That was a 767. And while we were paying attention to that, we neglected, well, we didn't neglect, but we now see this here tri-jet of the UPS brand. This one's going out to Louisville. It's an MD-11 freighter.
1998.
So it has been untugged. The final preparations are being made for it to taxi. Now, it's been my experience here when we have two of these MD-11s going out, both to Louisville. The first one usually goes out from the west side of the airport here, and the second one usually is directed over to the east side. So we'll see what happens on this occasion. Bill Platt is a fan of tri-jets, such a lost art form of aviation. Yeah, and it's it's unlikely we'll be seeing these for too many more years. I believe it's FedEx that has plans to I don't want to say scrap, but retire all of their tri-jets by next year, I think is the last schedule that I saw. And there are all the stats from Peter. And Tom says, I miss seeing all the tri-jets, DC-9, MD-11, etc. Of course, DC-9 was a twin jet. Maybe you're thinking of the L-1011, which was a tri-jet. Marco Taherna, good morning from Houston, Texas, where I'm sure it is similarly muggy today. And if I can use my high school Spanish here, Francis says, hello to Runway DFW. I hope he's talking to us. Greetings from our capital of Argentina. Cute Seal says hello. Aw, cute seal. Jeffrey Walker, hello from a very hot and humid Florida. Thank you for a relaxing morning stream. Loving it. I hear it revving up now as Joe Slace just subscribed to our channel. Thank you, Joe. Brian, I think, becomes our third commenter from New Zealand. Hello, Brian. At least our third of the morning. And Okia, not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but why are airplanes so beautiful to look at? I think pretty much everybody who watches a channel like this would agree with you on that. So let's see where this one goes, shall we? Will it take off in front of us today? We hope so. The last one we saw was unusual because it took off from, there's two parallel runways here on the west side, 18 left and 18 right, and the earlier MD-11 we saw, which was also going to Louisville, which is also a UPS plane, took off from runway 18 right, which is the closest one to us. And And as we watch that, there's an American Dreamliner taking off for Phoenix. So we'll try to keep you up to date with all the heavies coming and going here. The MD, meanwhile, is making the turn. And it too will take off in front of us, although this time from runway 18 left. You're watching Runway DFW live from DFW International Airport. See how fast this leaps off the runway, shall we? And thanks to Gary Goodson, who is now our newest subscriber on Runway DFW. Lost it. I haven't had even a moment to think about looking for that Cathay Pacific flight, which was scheduled to come in here. Have to see if I can find that for us. But in the meantime, got another plane to look at. Coming in from Denver. It's American Airlines. It's an A321. It's in the sun. And we've got a Delta minibus, flight 2444, off to Salt Lake City. Got about 25 minutes worth of aviation activity for you remaining in our broadcast today. I'd love to stay longer, but my salaried job awaits. Adam Serena says, thanks for today's show, Walt. Liked, as always. 11:30 p.m. where you are. So I'm calling it a night. Have a good Thursday, you all, and I hope you have a great Friday, because you'll be there before we are. Ryan wants to know if we have any plans to go to Houston Intercontinental. I have done a little research there. but I don't have any immediate plans to go because it involves vacation time and packing things up and hotels and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's on my wish list. I'd like to go down there because they do have some different airlines and airplanes that we would like to look at. So we'll let you know in advance. Michelle RS saying, it rained yesterday in Dallas. I actually saw it with my own eyes. Yeah, we got a little bit of rain up at Runway DFW Ranch, which is about, I think, as the crow flies, it's about 35 miles north of here, but you know, driving is more like an hour. We just got a little taste of rain, a little tease of rain we got. We didn't get any big downpours. It was dark and there was some thunder and, you know, but didn't get much in the way of precipitation. Craig Russell with some MD-80 memories back in 2009. That was a cool aircraft. That G-force on the MD-80 was amazing. MD-80, of course, being a two-engined jet with the jets attached to pods in the rear of the fuselage. And the letter S has just found us, as has just found this channel, has great camera angles. Thank you, S. And Chad in the ATL has just subscribed to our broadcast. So we are thanking all of you for your participation in our efforts. Good to have you all here. We're just over 5,700 subscribers now, on our way to even more, I hope. So 6,000, here we come. And here goes an American Airlines 737-800 on its way to Santa Ana, California, John Wayne Airport. Is it an international airport, a regional airport? Not sure. It's flight 2114. If you do like what you're seeing, I hope you'll tell your pals about Runway DFW. We're on the air usually at least twice a week, more when we can do it. Some things depend on the weather, some on my work schedule and grandpa duties, both of which are very important, of course. Here comes an American Eagle flight from Laredo. It's flight 3138. A CRJ 701ER. And typically in this final half hour of our broadcast, it gets very busy. There is a plane ready for takeoff on the north end of runway 18 left. It's getting ready to spin around. And there, as advertised, as the plane's spinning around, it's American Flight 1304, an Airbus A321. This one's on its way to Los Cabos in Mexico, where they welcome turistas for margaritas and beach, La Playa. See, I remember those things. High school Spanish, I recommend it. And if you ever want to know where the library is, I know how to say that too. We're gonna deviate here as we watch a plane coming in from Honolulu, American Flight 115 of 777. Triple 7-223. That one is 21 years old. It does not qualify for a jingle because only planes made before 2000 qualify for an official Runway DFW jingle, don't you know? Just how we roll. An eaglet. Can I tell you where it's going? I cannot at the moment. Looks like Omaha, Nebraska. Embraer 175. A staple of the American Eagle fleet. I hear a plane coming in. It is American Flight 812 coming in from El Paso in West Texas.
Convoy 3850, contact departure. With departure, have a great day.
That's your Airbus 321. We've got a flight going out to Brownsville in South Texas. If I can pick it out of the... There it is. The SkyWest plane. The CRJ 701ER. What? You say you want more planes? All right. American Airlines Flight 117Q, is that right? Coming in from Wichita, Kansas. A 51-minute flight aboard a 737-800. And Maui is stating the obvious, this is the hub of American Airlines. But we do see other planes here.
runway 17 wait. 7 right line, wait on my 2204, taxi to Echo Sierra, monitor ground, second 5. Taxi 0.5, next point, 04.
What have we here next up? That was American Flight 1066, a 737-800, coming on in from Mexico City. And we are next going to look at United Airlines, because they do fly here. This minibus A319 is on its way to Denver, flight 1182. And it's got the newest United livery, although this plane is 21 years old. And we're starting to get the pile up of planes here at the north end, ready to take off.
We are cleared to land on runway 16 and we will go straight to Unified Spaces for right now. Everyone go ahead, I'm ready. Still quantity, left wing 4340, center is 0, right wing 6380, cabin 1072. Runway 3960, visual 18 break.
AGP is our newest subscriber to Runway DFW. Thank you, AGP. AGP meet 319. American Airlines flight 2759, an Airbus A319. This one is off to San Antonio in Texas. And it's rolling. And as this one goes out, there will be an American Eagle flight coming in from Fayetteville. It'll be an Embraer 175, which you will see as a part of this combo takeoff and landing. Frank Maximiliano, if I read that right, has subscribed. Thank you, Frank. George Ragsdale saying good morning, and good morning to you, George. Happy to have you aboard with us. I have another super chat. We would like to thank very much Leon Z, a $1.99 super chat. I'll be landing in Dallas next week from a trip. And Leon, thank you for your contribution to our little shindig here, and I hope you have a great trip. I've had many very nice super chats this morning. And if you miss a super chat and you'd like to contribute to our efforts, there's a link in our description for this. There's a page at streamlabs.com/runwaydfw where you can make a one-time, or if you're really generous, a recurring contribution, a monthly contribution, and no contribution is too small. Hey, if everybody subscribed, sent us, $1 a month, we could do this for a living. So thank you very much for all of you and all of your support. Even if you can't contribute financially just by clicking the subscribe and like trademark buttons, you can help us out. Chuck Tolsma lets us know that American Airlines is expected to receive 9 more Dreamliners by the end of the year. I saw a story like that. I think some of the ones that they're getting are Dash 8s, which are not as common as the Dash 9 variant. American Flight 3879 is now arriving. American Eagle, I should say. It's an Embraer 175. And I didn't say where it was coming from because I didn't recognize the airport code. Is it Milwaukee? No, it's Moline. Moline, Illinois, MLI. Milwaukee is MKE, I think. I'm still learning these things, folks. Airport codes can be kind of crazy sometimes. This is American Airlines Flight 2767, an A321 off to Seattle. And I'll be off to Seattle in a way, after a fashion, after this broadcast, because I'll be packing up and going to the nearest Starbucks where I can do remote work for my employer for the next couple of hours until I can break off and head back to the ranch. You've seen aircraft coming over the bridge. Frontier. We'll check out that livery for you shortly. In the meanwhile, so the regional flight. This is American Eagle 4941, pardon me. CRJ 701ER off to Harlingen, Texas, in the southern part of this big Lone Star state. Well, we've had some fun this morning. I wonder if we're going to see that Cathay Pacific 747. I haven't had a chance to scope it out yet. We'll do that momentarily. Another American Eagle flight, this one from Dayton, Ohio, in Embraer 175. Lost track of that Frontier plane. Oh, I see it now. Not sure what this plane is doing. Kind of doing a little ballet here. Kind of repositioning itself at the top of runway 18 left.
18 right.
This is flight American 2720, an Airbus A321 on its way to Tucson, Arizona.
Airshow 1543 is on final 18 right. To offload, and we're looking for 300 gallons to upload, and just do a quick turn to move on from there.
And I hope Brian is talking about another great show, or maybe he's watching some other great show, which is not us, but hey, we can take criticism, Brian. But I think I know what you meant. And thank you. So it looks like a flight, a little American Eagle flight to Bentonville, Arkansas is poking its head out there. If I'm right about that. No, that looks like it's going to Des Moines, Iowa. American Eagle Flight 3738 is. That would be the plane in the center of your shot. The plane to the left is the A321 on its way to Tulsa. And then over here to the left, I think we should be able to see that Frontier flight. And we can tell you that it is Rio the Jaguarundi, Rio the Jaguarundi on its tail. Can we make that out? For all you Jaguarundi fans there, there's Rio. Michelle with some kind words. Great show you have going, Walt. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle, one of our long-time viewers and been a solid backer of Runway DFW. And we thank you for your support over the months, Michelle. Oh, and we've reached the end of our time. We need a buzzer, because we have to go. So I think we'll watch this Frontier flight jet off into the horizon, and then we will regrettably have to say so long to you. As my real job beckons. I shouldn't say it's a real job. I consider this to be, well, this really isn't, it doesn't feel like a job. This is just fun. So I am sorry we didn't get to see a 747. I had hoped we would. We were supposed to, well, when I looked last night, there was a Cathay Pacific 747 cargo coming in from, I believe it was Miami, on the schedule, but you know how those things go. So the Jaguarundi has flown. I suspect Jaguarundis don't fly actually, but that will complete our broadcast of Runway DFW. Where is our music? Musical director? Yeah, well, it's getting a little busy here, but I have to go. So thank you so much, everybody who tuned in for today's broadcast. We've had a lot of fun. We saw some things. We saw 2 MD-11s go out. We saw some international flights coming and going, and we'll be back soon. So I wish you happy contrails to you until we meet again. My name is Walt. Thank you so much for watching Runway DFW. We'll see you again soon. Bye.
Stay tuned for Gomer Pyle next on most of these CBS stations.
We hope you liked it. Too late to change it now.